But I was at this particular gas station and I drove over to the air pump and I saw him for the first time in 30 years, the guy who molested me. And bro, we made eye contact. And I
Wow.
was so angry. Yeah, I was so angry. And it was like he saw me looking at him, but it was almost as if he knew who I was, even though I wasn't a child anymore. And the only thing I could think of was to run him over. And I really was because I started revving my engine.
Mm.
But I don't know if he was miserable or if he was sorry, but he never moved, even though I was revving my engine like as high as it could go. Just think about it, being on the starting line in a drag race. That's how my engine was roaring. And I just wanted to run him over and take him off the face of the earth because of what he did to me. And I just remember this thought came to my mind. It was like a still small voice. If you kill him, then you leave your children open to attacks like he did with you. So I
Mm.
was like, what? He's not even worth it. So instead of even getting air at that gas station, I just drove off. And I partially regretted driving off and not running him over. But of
Mm.
course, looking back, I'm glad that I didn't. So it had been 30 years since I seen him. And I was 8 years old when it happened. It was me and my brother. We were at my grandma's house, and we were sitting on her couch. I'll never forget that it was a yellow, sticky leather couch. Every time you move, you felt like you were you felt like your legs were just being stuck to the couch or whatever. Anyway, we heard this noise in her bedroom. And being little kids, we were too scared to get up and go and see. And I remember my brother saying, "You go see." I was like, "No, you go see." So we never got up, but we heard the glass break of her window. We heard people climbing in the window. So we were afraid. And then out of nowhere, that's when Bill appeared. And he looked at me with like this eerie glare and smile. And I remember till this day that he came and he leaned over me. And then one of my uncles appeared and he asked my uncle, he said, "Do you think I should?" And my uncle, I'll never forget his response. He was probably high, but he
Mm.
told Bill, he said, "I don't care what you do, just do it and hurry up." And I remember my uncle going back into my grandmother's room. I heard like glass breaking and stuff being thrown around the room. So while he's doing that, Bill was still hovering over me. And I just remember me being a little kid. I just remember, okay, I remember someone telling me if someone ever touched me, kick them where the sun don't shine. So here I was with me and my little eight-year old foot. I'm thinking that, hey, if he touched me, I'm about to kick him where the sun doesn't shine. But he never touched me then. He just kept talking to me. And I don't know, I guess as a child, being so innocent, I guess he won my trust. I don't know. But I asked him for a piggyback ride. And of course, he gave me a piggyback ride, and that's when he assaulted me. And I remember just telling him to stop, but he never did. After a while, it was over, but it seemed like it lasted for a lifetime.
Wow.
And then they were gone. So yeah, that's one of the things that happened. Mhm.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
And what do you remember after that emotionally? How did you respond to that? What was your coping mechanism?
Yeah, so I specifically remember telling someone that I trusted, an adult, what happened to me. And I remember that person looking me right in my eyes saying, "Yeah, right." And that just did something to me. Yeah. So I think I carried that with me throughout my childhood, that what I had to say didn't matter. And like, I really believe that that stuck with me so to the point that I felt like my body was the only thing that was of value because my word wasn't of value, but I knew what guys may have wanted. You know what I mean? So
Mm.
it carried with me through relationships. So
Mm.
instead of being vocal or offering opinions about how I felt or what I did and didn't like, it was like I just gave in to anything. And I remember a boyfriend, and I think I was like in the seventh grade. He was like, "Why don't you talk?" And I didn't know that people wanted to hear me talk. So I was like, I do talk. He was like, "No, you don't." He started laughing. He's like, "You're like a mute." And like multiple people started calling me a mute. And I was like, man, so I really don't have anything of value to say. So I'll just offer my body, because that was the way that I was able to express myself. And I felt like that was my value.